Well, they're part of our state's rich history of military service. They are the Tuskegee Airmen, and there's a new book out about them. And here to tell me more is one of the book's authors, Daniel Holman. Goes by Dan, though. Dan, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to, go ahead and prop the book up there, and let's give the folks at home a look at it, and tell us a little bit about why the Tuskegee Airmen are so important.
Well, one of the reasons why the Tuskegee Airmen are important is because they were the only black American military pilots in World War II. And unfortunately, they were required to serve in segregated organizations. And that's what this book is about. It's about the Tuskegee Airmen units, the 332nd Fighter Group and its 4 squadrons, and the 477th Bombardment Group and its 4 squadrons. And one of the things I wanted to say about this book is it's a little different from some of the other books you might have heard about the Tuskegee Airmen, because it's based a little more on the actual documents that are kept at the Air Force Historical Research Agency, where I work and the other 2 authors work. All 3 of us authors work at the Air Force Historical Research Agency at Maxwell Air Force Base. And that's the primary repository of Air Force historical documents, especially related to units like the Tuskegee Airmen organizations. So we've got mission reports, we've got historical records, the monthly histories of the groups and the squadrons, we've got missing aircrew reports, we've got orders that award aerial victory credits and distinguished flying crosses, and all of that kind of information we mined that to put in the book. And one of the things that makes this book different too, it has a very detailed chronology based on those documents, and you could find all kinds of detailed information about the Tuskegee Airmen in this book.
Now, are those documents and records that have just recently become available, or?
No, they've been available all along, because World War II happened, almost 70 years ago, between 60 and 70 years ago, and all those documents were declassified long ago, and we have visitors that come to the agency and do research looking at those historical documents. Unfortunately, since 9/11 in 2001, there hasn't been as much access to Maxwell Air Force Base as there used to be. And one reason why the Air Force Historical Research Agency is where it is because we're surrounded by Air University. And all these Air University officers who are in schools like Squadron Officer College, Squadron Officer School, Air Command and Staff College, Air War College, those students are able to use the documents from our agency and also the books and magazines at the Air University Library right next door to produce their historical studies and their other studies for Air University. So there's a lot. I'd say the big advantage of this book, and I should mention the other 2 authors too, Joseph Caver and Jerome Ennals. We all work at the Air Force Historical Research Agency, but this book was not an Air Force publication. We're not really speaking on behalf of the Air Force, but on behalf of ourselves. But we used the resources of the Air Force Historical Research Agency, and that's the best place, really, for those documents that the book is based on. So I think anybody who got this from New South Books would have a goldmine of information.
So that would be a great read for a history buff.
Not only read, but photographs.
There you go. It's very visual.
Full of photographs with captions that tell the story.
All right. Well, super. Well, Dan, fascinating stuff. Thank you very much for being with us today.
You're very welcome.
You can find out more about the Tuskegee Airmen in Daniel's book, The Tuskegee Airmen in Illustrated History, 1939 to 1949. You can buy a copy online at newsouthbooks.com.